Welcome back to Homesteading 101. If you would like to see the rest of this video series, please visit our YouTube channel playlist entitled Homesteading 101. What to look for when building a homestead. According to the modern definition of homesteading, you can technically be a homesteader without owning a large amount of land. Urban homesteaders can invest their energies in things like raising backyard chickens, growing small gardens in raised beds, and canning to preserve their food. But in order to fully embrace a homesteading lifestyle, land is really necessary. Large plots of land are essential for gardening, growing crops, and pasturing animals. Wooded areas provide trees necessary for firewood, building materials, and even making maple syrup. Last but certainly not least, no serious homesteader would ever buy a property without a significant source of water. My family is often asked how we made the decision to choose the specific piece of property that we call our homestead. Let's face it, it's a huge decision. Not only is land expensive, but once you pour your blood, sweat, tears, and even years of your life into your homestead, you hope to stay there forever. Even after just a few years, our family has poured so much time and resources into our land that we cannot imagine moving unless we absolutely had to. Before we began to look for property, we had to decide where we wanted to homestead. The answer to this question will be different for different people, but for us, it was the American Ozarks. A number of things played into this decision. It was within a day's drive of where we already lived, making moving a little simpler. We wanted a low cost of living compared to living near the city. We also wanted an area with low property taxes. Things like low population density and remote living were things we looked for as well. An important point to remember is to try to find an area with very little regulation in terms of building codes and building permits. There are places around the country that fit that list nicely. But one of the most important concerns is the growing season. We wanted a homestead where we could improve the soil and have a long enough growing season to produce much of our own food. Once you have decided where you want to homestead, then the fun part begins, looking for property. Social networking brought us to our homestead. My husband had a friend who knew we were looking and suggested that we check out this piece of land. Buying land can get a little tricky in very rural areas because many landowners choose not to list their properties with a realtor. If the land is being sold through a realtor, it may not be listed where you can search for it online. Not all realtors list their properties in the MLS database. If you don't know someone who can look in the area where you are interested, your best bet is to contact a realtor in the area who specializes in selling land. Another great idea is to put an ad in the wanted section of the local paper. This is a great place to notify landowners that you are looking and give specifics of what you are looking for. Listings in local small town papers are usually very cheap. In the search for your perfect property, you must also ask yourself some hard questions. Are you able to build a house from scratch on raw land, or do you need an already existing house? Are you willing to rough it for a while to camp on your property rent-free so that you can pour resources into building and developing your land? Do you want to be connected to utilities? This may seem like a weird question coming from off-grid homesteaders, but we want to emphasize that not all homesteaders are off-grid homesteaders. And that's okay, it's not for everyone. Deciding to be off-grid is definitely a worthwhile choice, in our humble opinion. But it adds another level to homesteading, which requires more time and stamina to get started. Depending on your choices, it can also require more setup costs for things like solar power and well drilling. However, it also enables you to choose land anywhere because you're not limited to whether or not you can connect to the grid. Just be honest with yourself. It would be very frustrating to pour your resources into a property that may never be able to have utilities, only to admit that you really don't want to live without them. After you've decided where you want to live and asked yourself the tough questions, we have one final piece of advice, and this one is really important. More than anything, look for a piece of land with an abundant source of water. We really can't stress this enough. Water is essential for life. That's a given. But you'd be surprised how often its importance can be overlooked when you are used to turning on a faucet and having a regular source of water always available. If you choose a property without a natural water source, you will always be connected to the grid. And that may be okay with you, but it's wise to plan for the future when that water source may no longer be available. When we purchased our property, it had a 19th century well and 2 ponds. After we got settled, we brought a well driller in to dig an additional well near our homes that we now use with a hand pump. Even when covered, we found that our old well collected debris, small twigs, some bugs, and dirt. We wanted a source of clean water, so we had a new one dug. The well driller went down 160 feet. It took him about a day from setup to finish, and we paid him $1,850. We installed a simple pump that we operate by hand. Both of our wells are great sources of water and have never run dry. We located our homes next to these water sources. We were told that a better place to locate our homes would have been down our mountain, where the view is more spectacular and the road easier. But where is the water source? Up the mountain. I can speak from experience when I say that your primary water source should be within easy access to your home. Water gets heavy, and if you have to carry it for any reason, either short or long term, you want it close to your home. Choosing land can be a difficult decision, but also a very individual one. No one else can tell you where you should live. But if you keep these things in mind and take it from those who have been there, it is a very rewarding journey. Homesteading is an amazing adventure. For more videos and great articles, visit our website at anamericanhomestead.com.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It really means a lot to us. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Now you can support An American Homestead by becoming a patron. Visit patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead to see all the benefits of becoming a patron of our channel. You'll get access to private videos, pictures, and even live question and answer sessions that you can participate in. Some patrons will even receive free gifts throughout the year from the homestead. Visit patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead to check it out and see the rewards of supporting our channel.